Hey everybody, 8-Bit Josh here, and welcome back to Meridian Springs. And today, kind of continuing with the idea of using animals that kind of resemble the machines in Horizon Zero Dawn. We're adding a habitat for the Eurasian Lynx, and I think I mentioned in the last episode possibly using the lynx as their next habitat, and so yeah, I just went ahead and did that. But we're right outside of where we were last episode with the hyenas, and right next to Stormbird's restaurant. There's this kind of little space right here, which I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, but it's actually a pretty good sized habitat for the lynx. They're a smaller animal, and they only like two in their habitat. So it was actually, I think it worked out pretty well for them. But yeah, so I went with the Eurasian Lynx because, you know, talking about animals that resemble some of the machines in Horizon Zero Dawn, there's a machine called the Scorcher, and it's one of the more deadly machines in Horizon Zero Dawn. It's a cat-like machine, but it has some similarities to the lynx. It's got like the pointy ears, and then it's got like the little, almost like little kind of like the hair that kind of hangs down from the jaw a little bit. So I don't know, whenever I see the Scorcher, it always kind of reminds me of a lynx, because their faces or their heads have that similar look to them. But yeah, this was a pretty easy habitat to put together. They do typically prefer colder temperatures, so normally you would want to put in, you know, some habitat coolers and maybe even use the snow terrain in the habitat. But obviously, because this is a desert, you know, that's not something we're really doing. We have some of the animal welfare stuff disabled, so like habitat requirements like plants and terrain, things like that, we have disabled. That's just part of what we're doing in this series, is just really going for more aesthetic rather than trying to recreate a habitat that would look like, you know, the animals like real life habitat, you know. So luckily for us, these lynx don't care about living in a desert. Yeah, so right here, one of the things I wanted to do with this habitat is sort of make like a little, almost kind of like ruins. You could see I grabbed a pillar that I had made over. I used it a couple times over by the moose and in the wildebeest habitat, but I decided I didn't really like it, so I decided to just make my own thing here with the temple blocks, which worked out a little bit better anyway, because it has like the like broken pieces, so you can really make it look like it's just sort of falling apart. I like doing little things like you saw there, like just kind of like tilting the block downward a little bit, kind of make it look like it's maybe starting to fall over a little bit, and then taking some of the really small like broken little pieces and kind of scattering them around the outside of it to make it look like they've kind of fallen off, you know, and kind of fallen off to the ground. And I was making this platform, and honestly, when I started making it, I wasn't really quite sure like what it was going to be used for. I ended up just putting like a big tree there, and then just an enrichment item. I just thought it would be fun to have like a little platform for the lynx to be able to run and jump up on. They do like, you know, they do require climbing structures because we have habitat needs disabled. We technically for this zoo wouldn't have to do that, but I still like to do it. I still like to give them, you know, plenty of stuff to climb around on. I wanted to, actually I saw these bridges and I was like, oh, I totally forgot about those, and these climbing platforms. I was like, well, I could totally use those. Those are brand new. We haven't used them in the zoo yet. So that was just a fun little extra little thing to add for them. I also added some extra trees around the habitat that's not included in the time lapse, just to give them some like trees to be able to climb up on. And then here's another thing I haven't really done in this zoo is made their like shelter visible to the guests, so the guests can like stand up there and watch them sleep if that's what the guests want to do. But yeah, again, it's something we haven't, at least I don't think we've done in the zoo yet. So I was like, this would be a good spot to add a shelter for the lynx, and then it's right next to the path, so we can make it open and visible for the guests to watch as well. Yeah, as we're adding more animals that are kind of similar to, some of the machines in Horizon Zero Dawn. If you've played Horizon Zero Dawn, let me know, like, if there's other Planet Zoo animals that you think would make a good matchup for some of the machines. I have some of my ideas of my own, of course, but I would love to know your guys' thoughts. And if, there's like I said, there's a machine that you think be like, yeah, there's an animal similar to that in Planet Zoo. Yeah, we should go ahead and add them, especially if it's like an animal from, like the Europe DLC or the Africa DLC or the North America DLC, because those kind of came out around the time we were in between kind of wrapping up our last zoo and starting this one. So those animals I haven't, really used a whole lot in the game yet. Like I said, yeah, just let me know your thoughts on that. And I think that should just about do it for this time lapse. Oh yeah, I forgot I did include making a new sign for the Scorcher. So if you remember the last few episodes, we did like the Snapmaw and Stormbirds using these Australia sign pieces. And so yeah, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to make a Scorcher with these. And it was at first a little bit more difficult trying to get, I wanted to get the look, like the body shape, and also kind of some of the iconic, I guess, parts of the Scorcher. But yeah, we're getting towards the end of the time lapse, so let's go ahead and jump into the real-time gameplay. Alrighty, and here is the completed lynx habitat. Here's one. There's a fellow right here. So yeah, this is what I was kind of talking about, like how it's similar, at least in my opinion, to the Scorcher, because the Scorcher has kind of like the pointed ears like this, and it's got the little like cheek fluff that kind of hangs down a little bit. So yeah, that's why I went with the Scorcher. But yeah, so fairly simple habitat, but I still think it's pretty nice. I put like this bridge here if they want to climb up that way. Kind of just made some like simple little climbing things here with some of these branches that are actually new. And then again, like I said in the time lapse, I added some additional trees in the habitat that they can actually climb on, because they do like to climb up trees and just kind of chill out on the branches a little bit. But here's the platform. It's got like a new scratching post and then a tree kind of growing out of it. Here is their shelter. So like I said, like as a guest, you can come over here and you can watch them sleep if you want to. Did a little bit of detailing around the outside of the path too, just with some of the planted wood panels and some reeds and things like that. And we head out over this way. Here's another little viewing spot. So I put some enrichment items here so that the lynx will want to come over. I think that would be it'll be a good viewing spot for the guests. One of my other favorite things is so here's the completed Scorcher sign, which I think turned out pretty good. I don't know why I just decided to call this Scorcher's Pass. It just seemed, I wanted to somehow include the name of the machine, and I don't know, naming this like little walkway area I thought seemed appropriate. But yeah, that's the finished sign, and I think it turned out pretty good. I think it definitely stands up with the other signs we did. So we've got like there's Stormbirds right here, and of course over here in our swamp area we have the Snapmaw Cafe. So there's the Snapmaw sign. So if there's other animals like I mentioned in the time lapse, or other machines, let me know, because it'd also be fun to keep trying to recreate some of the machines with those Australia sign pieces. The other thing I still need to do, which we might do on a live stream, this would be like a nice relaxing, chill thing to build on a live stream over on my Twitch channel, is gonna make like a little plaza, like maybe seating area, maybe put some more shops with some of the boxless shops here for like little like food and drink and things like that. I also still need to detail this bridge over here, so got a little bit of that to do. Probably do something over here too, like this space could probably use something. That's pretty empty. Trying to think, is there any other, maybe something here too? I think this could probably use some details. Just trying to think of like other places that are kind of missing like small details. I think that's pretty much it for right now anyway. Maybe, oh yeah, this spot definitely needs something, which I could end up just doing, you know, putting a bunch of like plants and foliage and things, just make it, it doesn't have to necessarily be filled with like, you know, shops or, you know, I don't think I'd want to put another habitat right there. The one thing I had to do is for the lynx habitat, I had to add it to this work zone. So this staff is now, they're kind of probably stretched a little too thin, maybe, because they're maintaining the lemur mountain here, the badgers, the hyenas, which we just added, and now the lynx. So yeah, I don't think I'd want to put another habitat over here, because that's probably the only staff group that'd be able to manage it. Thankfully, the wildebeests, they have their own, which I never did add the giraffes in here. I still want to do that, but yeah, I think that just about does it. Like I said, let me know what other animals you would like to see in the zoo, especially, you know, if there's any that are similar to some of the machines in Horizon Zero Dawn, because, you know, like I said, I think I mentioned last episode, while I have the idea, should try and take advantage of, you know, kind of mixing the two games together even more. But yeah, as always, be sure to leave your comments, suggestions, and feedback down below. I am 8-Bit Josh, and thanks for watching. See ya.